had been a good year for the Nose family. Father Nose's investments in Dubai had done well. Mother Nose has found spiritual fulfillment in teabagging events. Sissy Nose had some good job leads, and Junior Nose was in his third tour of duty in Afghanistan. While Googling natural remedies for an enlarged prostrate, Father Nose's computer crashed and he was forced to look up an old friend, his TV, to pass the evening hours. It was while watching the second Star Trek movie that the phone rang, and by the time he had completed the telemarketer survey, he had missed the ending. The battery had died at the remote, and because there was no rewind button in the DVD, he began picking on whatever buttons there was, and ended up with his TV frozen on Cyborg, the Unknown Zone. He reluctantly sat down to watch and soon became drawn in to the plight of a nerdy scientist who was trying to catch the attention of his blonde bombshell lab assistant by developing enhanced technological accessories. Father Nose wasn't sure the exact moment he dozed off, but it was after the good cyborg had killed the scientist and was whining and dining the lab assistant. Father Nose was never sure where the movie stopped and his dream began because he was never able to get another copy of that movie. Outside the restaurant was a tree-lined suburban street, followed by many more similar streets, passing in a blur through a car window. The passenger in the car was still a child. The licensed family were mall gypsies, and Junior License lived in that back seat of the family spore family as they traveled from sale to sale, liquidation to going down to business closeouts, down the endless highway that was America. Junior spent his time fighting wars between his dinosaurs and his sister's Cabbage Patch dolls until the family purchased a caravan and became wires. Over time, Junior's interest wandered from computer games of mass destruction to the family business of bankruptcy bargain hunting. It was an easy shift from the kill or be killed universe of computer games into the world of foreclosure and conquest. As his family wasted gas traveling from town to town, the wheels were turning in Junior's head, and what had taken his family a lifetime to discover was passing directly into his head from his growing circle of shopping aficionado Twitterers. Round-the-clock chatter about super sales was being inputted into Junior's head, and patterns were emerging. Teeter-Totter Management was his first website that hit pay dirt by creating two die-for sales by moving goods from the most devastated and failed sales areas into the more prosperous enclaves of the country. Moving the endless stocks of valueless and wanted consumer good to sale-ready areas put the money into his account that would later be used to such astounding effect. The boom of the 90s filled the warehouses of America with consumer goods of every stripe, and all it took was the Commodity Modernization Act of 2000, the repeal of Glass-Steagall, the housing crash, the quickening pace of mall abandonment, the decline of the middle class, and Junior was ready. Using credit default swaps as his model, he bet both sides of the global movement and consumption of consumer goods, and by the time the economy tanked, 100 million of his Facebook friends and avid shopping Twitterers had bought into his Insure the Uninsured Going South CDs. As America failed and the middle class teetered on the verge of extinction, cash began flowing down the Yangtze, across the Potomac, down the Mississippi, and right into the hands of the newly destitute. As America failed, Americans grew rich, and the more businesses failed, the more every Tom, Dick, and Harry grew rich. Father Nose awoke with a start. He was still in his living room, and Mother Nose was coming in the front door with Christmas presents in her arms. Soon, Sissy Nose arrived with a stuffed reindeer, and Junior Nose arrived unexpectedly. It was Christmas Eve. Father Nose ordered some Chinese takeout and began telling his favorite story of the first Nose family Christmas. The family gathered round, and for one night all was peaceful and bright.